Officers from the Great Falls Police Department were involved in an officer-involved shooting. 51-year-old Stacy Micheletti has been identified as the man who died in the incident. Yesterday, the call logs were released.
And today, MTN's Margaret DeMarco sat down with one of Stacy Micheletti's best friends and her daughter about what they witnessed the day of the shooting.
Melanie Edmonds has known Stacy Micheletti for half of her life.
One of my best friends. We dated for a while.
For Edmonds' daughter, Presley, Micheletti meant even more.
He's like my dad, and I've always called him Dad.
Edmonds says the Micheletti she knew was fun, loving guy and would never hurt anyone.
He wasn't a bad guy. He made mistakes like we all do.
Recently, Edmond and her children noticed that Micheletti had changed.
He was not himself. He had been hearing voices and seeing people.
She says she tried to reason with him about the people he said he was seeing.
There was no talking him out of they weren't there. They were real, and that was it. So I just let him talk.
Edmond says she did not know what happened from the time he left her house Sunday night until she picked him up Monday morning.
He had called me and said that he was being chased by somebody. I'm thinking the people that he was seeing.
Edmonds and her daughter picked him up near the Montana Egg Facility on 38th Street North. She says Micheletti asked her to take him to his car near the soccer fields.
So we pull up to his car. I seen these cops coming from the parking lot of the building where it was at. And he seen them too, and he got out of my car, and then he kind of stepped back towards it and then just got out and left the door open and walked to the front of his car.
Edmonds says the time Micheletti reached his car, the police had their guns drawn and were screaming at him. Edmonds says Micheletti looked confused. I
didn't feel that they were a threat at all. He didn't say anything. He got out of my car and he was scared. You could tell that. But he, had the gun pointed at the ground. I didn't even know he had the gun with him. He had told me the day before that he bought one.
Edmonds says Micheletti told her the gun was fake and he was going to use it to scare the people he was seeing. Presley says when she rolled down the window, she saw the gun by Micheletti's side.
I was just screaming. I was like, Dad, drop the gun, and they were yelling, Dad, drop the gun. And I saw them lift their guns up, and I rolled the window up, and they started to shoot him.
Presley said once the shooting had stopped, she opened the door and fell out of the car.
A cop came behind me from under the door and grabbed my ankle and dragged me across the gravel, and as they had me on the ground, I was right next to him. And then they handcuffed me and separated me from my mom.
Edmonds says police removed Micheletti's clothing and placed Presley right next to him. She feels police need to evaluate this procedure.
So when Presley was thrown down by him, he was naked and dead, and she thinks, that's not really what we want to remember him.
She believes that Micheletti never realized how serious the situation was when they picked him up.
It was unreal. It's still unreal.
In Great Falls, Margaret DeMarco, MTN News.
The Department of Justice Division of Criminal Investigation is continuing to investigate. Great Falls Police is conducting their own investigation. The call logs were released yesterday, and you can read more details about this story at krtv.com.